some of the things we can do and how we can incorporate AI in order to make, better economic ecosystem and profitability and efficiencies at the workplace and even in our personal lives?
Absolutely. So I think one is to actually understand how you can use AI, because I think we are sometimes afraid of new technology instead of embracing it and then looking at it from a point of, if it can do X, then what else can I do, right? Mm-hmm. How can I use this tool to complement me? So for example, on a day-to-day, the amount of decks I've done with ChatGPT, ridiculous.
Okay, so firstly, I have a project. I need to do a presentation. Where do I go to access this deck producing ChatGPT tool, right? So that I can create that perfect deck.
Yeah. So what you do actually with all AI models is you have to teach them. You have to feed them with context information so that it can give you a result.
No question. Is there a website? Is there a URL you can share?
Just your chat. Yeah. OpenAI ChatGPT.
Or OpenAI. Okay. Just search for OpenAI.
ChatGPT.
Okay. Yeah. So I go on there. Did you pay a fee to access?
So there's a free one, but now I pay because it has immense benefits for my job. So I pay. I pay for it.
You pay for it, and then what have you been able to do? So you no longer, Canva was having a version of something like that. Does Canva have their AI up and running yet?
I don't know. I know they had a pipeline for it, but I don't know whether they launched it.
So what are you using?
What do I use it on a day-to-day, right? So one, it helps me to structure the content within my decks. So of course I have to feed it with information, context around, I want to build X, I want to do a proposal for X. Here's a bit of background around what I'm thinking about in terms of strategy. And then it will structure that information for you. So what ChatGPT is good at is it can articulate your thoughts better, right? But you have to have thoughts in the first place, right?
True, and that's why we're going to be going towards more thought-based and reasoning rather than just information regurgitation.
Exactly. So, and it's going to lay it out for you. Other ways that we use it for is sometimes brainstorming. So what are some of the ideas that you have around solving for X? So then that gives you initial thought starters for how to solve a problem.
How will Safaricom be able to double its profits in the next 5 years?
Yes, and then of course there are certain things you can't ignore, that it doesn't have context around the African Kenyan market, right?
Charlotte, I'm heading to you. I want some answers on that.
I want to give you a couple of, if you were asking what tools, what are some of our favorite AI tools? So for text, this is now text prompts.
Yes.
Lots of them. You've got Humeta, which is humeta.ai.
Yes.
So that's where you'll get that from. For image, I love this one now that you're on radio. There's one that's called the Sound Draw.
Okay.
Yep. What it does is it generates music that allows you to create and compose original, royalty-free music.
We will no longer be flagged because we're always being flagged because this is copyrighted to somebody, right? I'm now going to create a whole new bed of music just for Double O Direct that's in tune with my thinking and my ethos. All right, I love that. So with regards to your organization, with regards to Safaricom PLC, and we're about to go on a break, AI and big data is integral to operations, yes?
Right across, as I mentioned, every single department, division within Safaricom relies on big data and AI. As part of our strategy, we call it Strategy House. A biggest enabler there is data. And at the heart of it is really to transform lives. So we make sure that our products and services are developed in such a way that we transform lives, the way that we price, the way that we give service to the customers proactively, and the way that we prevent fraud from happening in their account, especially on the M-Pesa side.
I love that prevention of fraud. I'm actually worried because I bank with Barclays in the UK and I'm always being asked for a voice prompt. Now if someone can copy my voice, we're going to be back with Charlotte Kepadisa, Head of Big Data and AI at Safaricom, and Evelyn Nyarwai, AI Integration Specialist. This is Double O Direct on Spice FM. Charlotte, tell me about some of the ways in which AI is being underutilized.
It's underutilized, especially in areas of social impact. That is in the area of doing good for the country and for its citizens. Yes. And I've seen that there are lots of opportunities for us. I mean, I mentioned that in SA, we've got the AI for Good that helps bring up the kids in the villages to really come up and be part of this digital economy. But also, I think in Nairobi as well, there's lots for us to do. In Kenya as a whole, lots of NGOs that we're exploring working with, especially as Safaricom through the Safaricom Foundation, to make sure that we contribute meaningfully. We've got programs like digital health programs that supports working with the likes of Give Directly to support or expense the funds for the vulnerables. So using AI to actually determine who are the vulnerable members of our community, and therefore partnering with these organizations to make sure that they do get that assistance, and on top of it building application that's going to help them get out of that current state, because it's not for them to be there forever and for them to be receiving support, but it's really to see how we can use AI to actually uplift them, but also make sure that we do that in a sustainable way.
In terms of accountability, and I know I'm throwing you under the bus here, in terms of regulation, in terms of oversight, in terms of curbing even issues like ghost workers and corruption, is it there potential for AI to be used even in public sector?
Absolutely. I look at lots of use cases that in my not previous employer, because I'm on an assignment.
Oh, you're on assignment. You're on loan, like a footballer.
I'm on loan.
Okay.
But a lot of use cases that the likes of Vodacom actually uses on the public sector space, ensuring that they bring about efficiencies, they alleviate fraud through things like anomaly detection, so seeing certain transactions that are way above what they need to be or out of the ordinary, and therefore utilizing that to uncover or discover a fraud in the system. So absolutely. And if you think about it, the biggest owner of capital, as it were, for most of these countries is the government. So if we can help government to be a lot more efficient, to be a lot more targeted in terms of alleviating fraud, I think we'll definitely get somewhere. And just to mention, shout out to Boniface. I think about there was 2-3 days ago we launched the My County app. And one of the ways really that Safaricom partners with our government to make sure that we digitize government and getting everybody on board onto this digital transformation.
Wonderful, absolutely. Who is Boniface?
Boniface is Director of Public Sector for Safaricom. Now, do you see how much we take this public sector vertical very seriously? We believe that Safaricom, as a digital organization, not just a connectivity organization, can play a role in actually transforming the entire country. I mean, you've seen the innovation with M-Pesa. It's a proper, global, worldwide innovation that's coming out of Kenya, out of our soil. And therefore, the idea with this particular role is to make sure that we see that we're able to now continuously help the government actually innovate and therefore gain the efficiencies that they need to run a very efficient country.